Welcome back, video 2 of 3 for Sunday 11/19. Alphabetically going, we stopped at Etsy, we'll go with FCNCA. What is it? That's a bank. Okay, I'm not a big fan of smaller banks. I mean, it might be a big bank, but I think this one qualifies as a regional. This here, folks, is a bearish setup, more likely to be at 14.1 than it is to be at 15. So I would buy the next dip. This is likely, if not two of these. This is likely, and this is possible. Follow through. 1400 or lower might be interested. FSR, ooh-wee. People are figuring out what I figured out. That this dude doesn't have a good record. Fisker has tried this before and gone belly up. He tried the Fisker car before. His most famous model, I think, was called the Karma. Sold the brand, that model name, for a brand that revived his car probably more successfully than he did. I don't know what happened. I don't know what they said. It must have been production-wise. I said you can have the best technology on the planet like Lucid and Fisker, and if you don't get the gosh dang things to market, you can't make it on Wall Street. You might have a beautiful car, but you need to push the cars out the door, perfect or not. And oh boy, what do you think Tesla did? Okay, so this thing, I don't know. There's nothing a chart can tell you. So here's my thought process. If you love the company and you've already invested money into the stock and you took an entire position all at once, if you wanted to put 5,000 and you put the 5,000 and you go to double down, I think you're making a mistake. I wouldn't do that. How about I say it that way? I wouldn't do that. Why? Because it could go to zero. I don't average down, especially when I put all of my eggs in one basket already. If I said, okay, I wanted to put 5,000 and I put 2,000 and now it's down here and I still believe in it, that's an important part, I would add. Other than that, I wouldn't add. If I'm starting here now, I better say this to myself. I'm either going all in, plugging my nose and waiting for 5 years, or I'm going to take half a position, double down when it falls down double, like when I lose half my money, and then call it a day and see if it happens in 5 years. Other than that, I can't help you. I don't know what they said. I bet you something about production, that they can't produce this many cars. Oh boy. And they're advertising like crazy, which is crazy because Tesla doesn't advertise and it's selling cars already. They're trying to be Apple and they're nowhere near to be Apple. Fiverr. 25.2 or higher, 25.5 or higher, that's 26 or higher are positive catalyst to 28. I don't like the company at all. I think this company will not do well in the long run unless they change their ways. I tried to use them and it was a complete scam. I feel like it's a bunch of 20-year-olds trying to scam mom and pop companies, entrepreneurs. So do your homework, use other services, they're better from a user's perspective. And 27, I think, should be a wall. If it comes up to 27, 28, which would be the target about this breakout from here, let's say if it rallies 10 to 15%, I would get out. That's what's happening, lower lows and lower highs. GE, this stock is on fire, and it broke out above 118. Let me see if I can give you a visual. Above 118, it's level breakout, and the sellers are too old. But this thing is going to break in a nasty way. I don't know where. Technically, if somebody shorts it here, technically on a weekly basis, which is a conviction short for months, they don't stop out until 129 on a technical basis. So if you can take that much pain, try to short it. I'm still short via puts and red, which is what I've done before. I've completely disclosed my position. I said I've shorted this thing 5 times, lost 3, won 2. The overall wins were financially rewarding. This short is red again, and I'm losing. I don't want to tell you to short it, but it is in a breakout. And the fundamentals, I'm not convinced they're getting any better if I'm looking at the P&L. Every time it rallies, it's on them selling assets. But look at the P&L. At some point, Wall Street will say, show me. Stop telling me. So, super strong stock. Recent breakout. Not shortable short term. But a conviction short for a grown-up, as in like somebody that knows what they're doing, this will pay in the end. But meanwhile, you need to take some pain. The stock is in a breakout. Respect it. AI, no. Guardian Force. What is this? What is this? Integrated security solutions. Oh, how cryptic can you be? I'm not a fan of the P&L. The net income is getting worse at a faster rate than the sales are getting better. That's why the market is selling every rally. So unless this one gets above 4, it probably goes to 280. I'm just calling it like I see it. It's going to pull one of these. I'm giving you the visual, but you need to get to 4. If you get to 4, you break the habit. For now, it's in a downward trend. Globe Life Insurance. Yep. Globe Life. I feel like this is a rebrand of somebody. Decent, stable P&L, so let's look at the charts. I mean, not for me. It gets to 115 or 114 easier than 122. That's my impression. Breakout will have, in theory, $10 in it. So in theory, this rally could extend to breakout from this one. Hard to short, but I think it dips before it goes up there. What do I mean? Let's watch the visual. I think this is repeating, right? And it could repeat again here to a certain degree, like this. So don't short it with conviction. Know that you might have better entry points. Might be far extended. The GLD, you saw my notes. We took a long in the silver and I got out. I think it dips one more time. I don't like to take stocks that are exploding into a prior massive fail. So until the GLD goes above 187, I'll put progress here. Breakout. 192 plus. Question marks. Okay, so I would look at it. I would buy the next dip to see if they can hold 179 or 180. GLPI, gaming and leisure properties. You have a high, big sellers. You have a low, big buyers. You have a moderate buyer. So support at 44.80 and better support at 44 or just below that. And sellers, hard sellers at 47. If you want to get long here for the swing up to 47, I get it. Wow. What is going on with this P&L? Holy moly. That is like, what is this? The Holy Grail? This P&L is way too good. I'm always leery of these things. This is just too perfect. Look at this P&L. Holy moly. Wow. You can do a credit call spread, Larry, on GE, but you need some pretty good knowledge and what do you call that? Guts. Intestinal fortitude. This is an investment, and this is okay to be long here. GM, I would ditch every car company until they all say, oh my gosh, we were so stupid for the last 10 years or 5 years, talking the talk that the politicians wanted us to talk. This stock, folks, is going to $15 if they don't change their ways. How do I know that? The drop from here to here consolidated for how long is that? A year, and they just lost it. Eventually, they come down to here. So I don't short it because of this. So this stock went from point A to point B, chopped for a whole year, and then lost this bottom part. So it usually comes down as far as it from where it came. So this, how much of this are they going to price here? Something like this. So let me look left, and what did I nail? Oh my gosh, look at where I put it. The pandemic lows. I wasn't even looking, and it kind of matches. Okay, so what is this going on here? Nothing. They fundamentally made mistakes, and now the mistakes are catching up to them. What? They shifted strategy, global strategies, all car makers, and now they're paying the consequence. They can't make money selling electric vehicles, so now they have to backtrack. Unless somebody has a solution to batteries, electric vehicles are not the solution. So now they have sellers at 30 for this chart, regardless of what they sell. Maybe you get to 32, and then anything into 33 is an exit. Why? That's the underbelly of that consolidation. Look how long they tried to hang on to it, and they did several times, and now they've let it loose. So now it becomes a wall when they come back to it. Look at that overhead supply. All these traders are looking to trade it when it gets up there. It's in bad shape. I wouldn't add to my investment if I'm investing for the long term. Don't change your opinion because of me, because that is an opinion. But trading-wise, it looks pretty hideous. All right, this one, who is this? Alphabet. I wouldn't start longs into this, but then again, it could be levitated by NVIDIA. I have no idea. Technically, I would get long under 130. So I'm going to put an alert for myself. Credit put spread, maybe. And I'll put one down here. I'll move this one higher. We'll say long with some conviction. So buy the dip. Level 1 is 132, 130, and 128. Of course, if it gets anything below that, it would be very, very interesting. I don't think it goes here. Anything below 128 on its own, the market might be correcting. And gap. Oh yeah, all in. Now, load up all in. No, I don't know who asked me about this. What are you asking me? I'm puzzled sometimes. I should go to look at the notes. Maybe you already told me. Anyway, I'll answer it. No way on earth I would touch this thing. Retail, first of all, this retailer in specific, even worse. They price their things super expensive, and then you go one day, it's $1. It's on sale for $1. I don't know how they consistently make money anyway. Technically, super solid bottom below. If now you want to get long, I ask you, why didn't you go long here? Like, seriously. So at least buy the next dip. This here is not an obvious entry point for me. I have nothing else to say. Goldman Sachs, we went long, and then I sold the credit call spread hesitantly, and that credit call spread is under fire. I think the last time I checked last week, if I close everything, the credit put spread and the credit call spread, I would come out scratch. Like I did nothing, which is fine. If you're nervous about the credit call spread, just close everything. Or sell another credit put spread while you wait for it to get better on the credit call spread. I think a small dip would make sense to cover the gap. They just gapped. Why did banking? Oh yeah. So maybe when it dips to 328 or 330, close the credit call spread. I think a dip might be warranted. Something like this. Normal. Hit me on it this week if you want more details. Chart Industries. I honestly don't know who that is. What do they do? Chart Industries, and they do gas. All right, so they fell into a nice support. I can tell you, you don't want to lose the nice support. If you lose 110 or 109, woo, we'll go into 75 maybe. Meanwhile, there are a lot of sellers above with an opportunity to break out from 130. So you have to take your pick. You think they're doing higher lows to break out? If so, you get to 142, I would exit there. HDFC Bank Limited. Okay. 59 is a catalyst. I think will get you over 60 where there are a lot of sellers, and will get you 61.5. To be honest, that's a scary looking chart. The bank P&L looks pretty good. Wow. A bank goes from here to here. That's interesting. What kind of a bank is this? Treasury operations. Okay, so this one is definitely tied to words from and actions from Powell, sounds like, and the TLT. There is no volume inside this circle above 60. So if they take out 60, they will get to 63 in a minute and then hit a wall. So time your entries properly. And you better study the treasuries. So the TLT, TBT, ZT, ZN, all of these, you need to study those. Who is this? HubSpot. Sellers at 490, plus or minus $3, plus or minus $5. Let's delete these old comments. You see that big purple thing? Yeah. So you have buyers into 430 or lower. Next time it drops into 430 or lower, buy it with confidence and stop out if it goes below 405. And you have sellers above. Let's see, earnings? No. Intel. Yeah, I wouldn't touch Intel because also it will move on NVIDIA. Good breakout. I would think it's not an obvious entry point. Now everybody loves Intel. When I ditched it, that was it. That was the sign for everybody to go in. I was a fan, and I'm no longer a fan. Now, look left. This is the March. What? The pandemic lows. This is the pandemic lows that they bounced off of in October of that year. And they defended one more time in February of last year, and then they lost their guts in February of last year. Now they're back to it. Yeah. If you're the one buying it here, I've got a bridge for you. This is definitely not an obvious entry point. Now, it could get to 50. It will have to do it without me. No way on earth would I ever do that from a technical perspective. At least respect your money and buy the dip. Not that it won't do it. Oh, look, an idiot, you lost $5 for it. No, I didn't. I put it to work somewhere else where it's not an obvious entry point, where it's more of an obvious entry point. So where is the fire to chase it now? That's all I have to say. It's still a beast as a company. As a stock, no, not for me. If I'm long Intel, I would be out. ISRG, good company, I would buy the next dip. I missed this one. It dipped on earnings, and that was my bad. I missed it. It is going through some moving averages, those green lines. That's good news. But if you look left, it has a lot of challenges into 320. So buy the next dip. It probably won't go lower than 290. So 292, start considering it for this opportunity. Curl back up. So good company, maybe they make a little progress and then dip. And if it does, I would get long because they're probably going to do that. And if they do, they have an opportunity to do something like this. In here is an entry opportunity. Good company. Okay, so JP Morgan failed miserably on that day. Earnings reaction, now back to it. No way it is a good obvious entry opportunity. I would not start longs going into this prior fail. Sellers are lurking. Anybody stuck here? Thank you, I'm out. Everybody stuck here. Thank you, I'm out. Buy the next dip. Same as ISRG. KLIC. Easier to fall. So from here, I would think this is a path. Maybe a second arrow. So it's a buy the dip for me, even though it could come up a little bit more to 52 before it dips. KTOS. It's an amazing chart, not an amazing P&L. So what's going on? What is this? Uranium? No, national security. Talk about a black box of information. Okay, so not for me. At 19. 19 was a base for the huge rally for 2021. It was a battle zone, pivot, and now back to it. It's not for me. Buy the next dip into 17 or 16 if you're lucky. Lucid, I'm all in. No, I'm not. Everything I said for Fisker applies here. At least these guys are selling a couple of cars. Listen, I just saw the headline on iteration for their next car, some weird name. One's called Air. What is the other one called? Gravity or something like that? Yeah, oh, Intel covered calls. Sorry, I just saw that somebody's asking what kind of covered calls I would sell on Intel. Pretty tricky. Any level you're willing to sell shares at. Just go to Delta 20. But you want to do that into earnings from NVIDIA? So this one, lower lows, lower highs. Don't expect anything different until they come out with a better schedule. So here's the deal. If I'm trading this stock, I would imagine this is going to happen again. Okay, until they say, okay, we're done, because we are now actually going to deliver cars on a consistent basis. Lilly, I wouldn't short the stock. That is like, I don't understand this. I don't understand this. They must do one of those diet drugs or something. It's just too much hype. I don't trade Lilly. I say freaking Lilly every time somebody mentions it jokingly, because look at it. I mean, what is happening here? If you're investing for the long term, do some homework. Make sure that you're not overpaying. If you're trading it short term, be very reactive. So if you're short and it makes a higher high, get out of the way. And if you're looking to get long from a trading perspective, get long into 560 and stop out if below 542. I don't like airlines. I definitely don't like this airline. Let's see what they do at 25.5 and 26 if they get there. It'll be an exit spot for me. Definitely that yellow circle is an exit spot. So good bounce, but they've had those before. Technically speaking, they could have a couple more bucks, but I think they'll find sellers into 26. So time your exit appropriately. Mag Silver Corporation. This is an exit spot. Why? That's what the market has been doing with that thing. I don't know what it is. Some version of that might be in order. I think if they break out of this last week's high, they may hit more sellers at 1160. I think above 1160, you would have another 80 cents out of it to 1240, but you need to get out of that. Meta, it's one of those difficult stocks to trade at these levels. Silver miner, yeah. Breakout, oh boy, like GE. Breakout of a pretty tough level at a long-term basis. So you could get the 380. A lot of sellers in between. So don't short it aggressively. I like the company. I just can't touch it up here. I feel like it's easier to go long time the S&P than it is one stock that's outperforming like that. It literally has the moon. They have 3 billion users, and what if they monetize them? What if they monetize them on the metasphere level? I know people are very skeptical. Trust me, folks. I'm a techie. We haven't even started monetizing what their business is. They said, forget Facebook, which is where we're making our money. Our business is going to come from the metasphere. And they haven't even started making money there. Imagine the transition when they have both sides of income. There's going to be a huge realization from the market. It's holy crap, this is a cash cow even in the metaverse. Well, we haven't seen that moment yet. And I think that's the hype people are buying. I don't know. I think it's a scam. Everything I bought off of Facebook, 90%, almost everything I bought off of Facebook is a scam. I mean, to the point where You order a pair of shoes, you get a belt almost. Not quite, but that's about as you know, ordered a vacuum, I got, a dog. It's just that crazy. Yeah, I keep trying, but I haven't in a while. So actually, not too long ago, I bought something that was completely false. It was a sweater. It wasn't even the same cut, not even the same design. I don't know how they're not sued. It's worse than buying something off of Temu. I trust Temu more than I trust Facebook. Buying stuff. Okay, at least Temu prices, you can throw it away. Who is this? Microsoft. Did I say something about Meta? Don't short it. Buy the dip into 320 if you want to go long. Microsoft, good win, all-time high. When I drew these arrows, I'm pretty sure people said, you're high. I'm like, okay, but that's what the charts say. If they could do that, that's where they go, and they're going. So buy the dip into 344 if you're a trader. If you're an investor and you own it, I wouldn't add. And if you want to trim, fine. If you want to put it to work by selling calls, covered calls, fine. You should know also that it is tied to NVIDIA a lot because they're both considered AI trades. So be careful shorting it. Buy the dip mode into 336 if you're lucky. Netflix. I think they're improving their content. Technically speaking, that is no way an entry point. Anybody buying it here, they're going off of emotions. Yeah, it's a breakout, but there's a bigger fake out up here. Oh boy. So if you can make money from here to 480, good on you. That is just too fast. Momentum traders, yes, absolutely. They buy high, sell higher. If you're an investor and you're going in here because now you feel better about Netflix, just think about it. In October, what is that? Less than a month ago, you could have bought it for $130 cheaper. And now you're deciding to buy it. It was 25% cheaper. Why didn't you buy it here if you're an investor? Well, things are bad. Nothing changed. If things were bad back then, nothing changed. We didn't solve the war. We don't have lower rates. The Fed's still raising rates. What changed? The P&L didn't suddenly get much better. Why do you feel like it's better now? You're going with emotions. I think you're going to lose money. It's harder to make money long here if you're an investor. Traders, I get it. Okay, outstanding. Video 2 over.